Try again. Okay, this is my very first video. I'm just going to move it. I am using a modded Europa Barboroum. I'm going to try and make this as good as possible. Don't mind me. It's an old game, so this could crash. If you guys can hear me okay. Anyway, this is it's gonna be a pretty, I don't know how long this is gonna last, but this is a battle recreation of the Great War between the Balian Empire and the Selfian Dominion. It takes place about 2 years before the series of counterbalance starts. Now this is the battle which basically is the beginning of the end for the Empire's hopes and class arts. Now, I do hope you guys can hear me. It's going to take a while. It's quite a slow engagement. Don't know how good this is going to be. So, I'm going to try and download the video. Anyway, this is Europa Barboroum, which I'm using. So all the credits to that. See, I've based the Balian army at this point. Well, the elite army was very similar. Here we go. It was very similar to that of Rome. So, anyway, there were 4 major players in this battle. Hold on. There was the Balian Empire, which is represented by the Roman army here. Unfortunately, there's not really too many fantasy mods which allow me to play it. So, and over here we have the 2 armies of the Selfian Dominion. There was meant to be a 3rd army in this battle. What it was going to happen is, this is called the Battle of Drowdrite, called the City of Ghosts. This is the City of Ghosts here. It's very badly represented, but hopefully it'll be cool. The City of Ghosts was a Selfian fortress. It was quite a well-defended fortress as well. If the Balian army took it, it would have been disastrous for the Dominion. I mean, 6 months before, they fought the Battle of Young Point, which was a victory for the Selfian army. And this is 6 months later. This is the true battle. And the Selfian army really, the force of the Dominion really brought their best army to this battle. I'm gonna play it now. Here we go. In terms of troop numbers, first of all we have the Selfian army, the army of the Empire. There's about 50,000 infantry, about 10,000 cavalry for them, and they also had the Kingdom of Bayreach, which was their greatest ally. They had around 40,000 men, including 100 elephants. I couldn't put 100 elephants in the battlefield, but this is what they're representing. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. The Selfian army was considerably larger. It was about 120,000 in total. Mostly elite troops. Their main strength was the phalanx. It's going to be a bit laggy at times, so I apologize in advance. In the battle, the Kingdom of Bayreach, King Astinese was his name. He just charged right in because he was determined to defeat them. Some of the Wildman infantry, which were mercenaries at the time. It was a very violent engagement. I'm just going to make this a little bit easier on the eyes. I mean, the battle wasn't easy it was a very bloody engagement. The problem is when you're fighting with the AI, it's very difficult to make the casualties realistic, but here's the charge. The Balian army. The real battle lasted 2 days. It was over it was a huge battle. I couldn't really replicate the camps very well, but I'll pause the battle as it goes. The Selfian army was pretty motivated by this point because they were starting to win victories against the Empire. This was the engagement which spelled the beginning of the end for the Empire, his hopes in Glassos. I mean, they're represented by Parthian and tactics and stuff. The Selfian army really had the upper hand in this battle. It was very difficult for them to do anything. I mean, the Kingdom of Bayrege did everything it could to do into this. And this engagement was a large contingent of Selfian horse broke through the centre. The problem is the Bayregian army was they didn't pay much attention to their allies. They were separated at the beginning of the battle, which hurt, unfortunately. I'm not the best narrator, so we'll see what happens. But the Bayregian archers were pretty strong. I mean, in terms of troop strength, the Kingdom of Bayrege was quite formidable. They held on for a good while. But the Bayregian army did quite well in this engagement. They managed to rout most of the Selfian forces on this flank. The problem was that their allies, the Empire, really struggled. And as you can see, the Selfian elite, the Guardian of the Fort, they easily held up to the best of the Empire's army. But this battle was a disaster for the Empire. Caras Montague was the commander in this engagement. I'm trying to find him in the battlefield, actually. There he is. In the battle, he led a charge on the left because he had no options. It was either he took the command, or his troops would see their general just being indecisive. This is my very first engagement, so apologies in advance if it didn't work. See the charge of the Selfian War Elephants, the Dominion Elephants. Oh, they did everything they could, but the phalanx was just too good in the end. And by this point, because the strength of the Empire's army was its cohesion, but because of the difficulty of the battle terrain, it was all split up into different battles, and the most important force being is that the Bayregian army could not cooperate like they did at Yang Point. Yang Point was a very close victory for the Dominion, while here they had a much larger army. I mean, the Bayregian host did pretty well in this engagement, but this is the battle that breaks the back of the Bayregian army. Their king died, and they lost pretty much all their forces, and the kingdom couldn't really do anything against the power of the Dominion. They relied on the Empire for this. Sorry for the beeping there. Someone's trying to message me. Yeah, it's sorry about that. I can edit that out. As you can see, the Bayregian army did everything it could, really. Just giving you some close-ups of the engagement. Because you're fighting with AI, and AI is not very good. You can tell the battle was a mess. The Selfian unit did get routed. This was the battle was quite close for a while. This is the commander of the Selfian army. He is known as Kanjudu the Red Sand. He was a formidable commander. Commanded Caras Montague was captured at the end of the game. But he was ransomed back after the battle, and it stays with Caras for the rest of his life, the defeat. Here he is. His army is starting to struggle. They did put up a fight for a long time. I'm gonna stop the recording. I'm gonna come back in a sec. Hold on.